Hey everybody! The purpose of this video is to learn the parts of an angle and also to help you identify different types of angles, and by the end you'll also know how to correctly name an angle based on different points. Alright, let's start with the basics. You'll see an angle in front of you, and every angle has three things that you should be familiar with. First of all, when we're talking about an angle, we're talking about the spread between these two rays right here. So this right here is our angle. So I'm going to label that, and I'd like you to do the same on your note sheet. That's our actual angle. Another word you'll want to be familiar with when we're talking about angles is the word ray. This is a ray right here, and this is a ray right here. So let's label those. That's a ray, and that's a ray. Label those on your worksheet as well. And then finally, you'll need to be familiar with this point right here where the two rays meet. That's called the vertex. Alright, and we'll use that later when we're naming our angles. So make sure you have these identified on your sheet. There are four different types of angles: acute, right, obtuse, and straight. And you've probably seen these before in previous math classes, but let's just do a quick refresher. Acute angles are angles that are less than 90 degrees. So you might have one that looks like that, or maybe one that looks like that. Right angles are angles that are exactly 90 degrees. And we show that by putting the little box in there. And here's another one. Right. Obtuse angles are angles that are greater than 90 but less than 180. So that might look something like this, or maybe like that. Okay, they're bigger than a 90-degree angle. And then finally we have straight angles, and straight angles are straight lines. And that forms 180 degrees. I'd like you to pause the video and complete numbers 1 through 6 on your notes page by classifying each of those angles as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Let's talk about how to name angles. In order to do this, you'll need to use a point on one of the rays, and then the vertex, and a point on the other ray. So we'll be naming it using 3 letters. If you look at the angle in front of you, you'll see we have angle MRL. And the way that I write that is I'm going to use this as my angle sign. That's angle MRL. And we always use capital letters for this. Or you could start on this side and say angle LRM. And sometimes you'll just see this labeled something like angle R, which is okay but not the preferred way to do it, because sometimes there's a lot of different angles in one picture, so just saying angle R isn't specific enough. But for this example it would work. You'll notice in all of these we have R, which is the vertex, as our middle letter. That's really important. Couple more examples that are not on your note sheet, but just to give you a visual here. This first one could be called ZBM, angle ZBM, or angle MBZ. I could go that way or that way. My next one could be angle CLK, or angle KLC. And this last straight angle here could be angle DMT or angle TMD. Any one of those ways are acceptable. You just have to make sure again that your vertex is that middle letter for the name. Now I'd like you to pause and complete numbers 6 through 9 on your note sheet. Make sure you put that angle symbol in front of all the angles that you're naming. Sometimes you'll have to name an angle while looking at a diagram that has a lot of different angles in it. Let's see how to do that. First, let's find a right angle in our diagram. So I see one right here. How would we name that one? If you said angle CBM or angle MBC, That's correct. All right, that would be one angle that's a right angle there. There's also one here. I have angle EBC, or you might say it as CBE. I'll do that a different color here. So we could say angle EBC or CBE. Okay, how about a straight angle? Do you see any in this picture? The only one I see is this straight line right here. So I could say that's angle EBM or MBE. So go ahead and record that one. At angle EBM or MBE. And again, that's the same angle. We're just naming it a little bit differently. How about an obtuse angle? I think there's a lot of them in this picture. We don't need to name them all, but let's find a couple. I see FBC is greater than 90 degrees. Again, you could call that CBF. That would also work. Okay, so we've got this one. How about right here, angle DBM? All right, and you might even see FBM or MBF. Okay, and there might be more, but that's enough for now. How about an acute angle? We've got a lot we could do here. We could do FBE, EBD, DBC. We've got quite a few to pick from. I'm going to record angle DBC, and we'll do angle FBE. And again, there's more than that in there, but I think you get the idea. All right, if you have any questions about these, make sure you check in with a friend or check with your teacher, or go back and watch different parts of the video again if need be. If you're all set, you can move on to the next item in the checklist.